welcome to the Blythe Starlight channel. My name is Therese Tucker, and this is What in the World event readings. And this week's reading is about the 8/8 Lionsgate portal. So I wanted to do this because at the time of this recording, the Lionsgate will be tomorrow. Tomorrow is August 8th. And what the Lionsgate is, in case you've never heard of this, so during the time between July 28th and August 12th, there's considered a portal opening that reaches its peak on August 8th, or the 8/8 portal. And this is considered the Lionsgate. And what it is, it's supposed to be the cosmic energies of the star of Sirius coming into alignment with the Earth and the Sun, and creating a type of portal, an abundance portal energy, a manifesting portal energy. And most people will kind of celebrate this day. They'll do meditations. They'll consider, like, what is it I'm trying to create? And they'll focus their energy at it. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because this year, now I've heard about this and I like the idea of it. Sounds good. I love the placement of Sirius, but there are some astrologers out there who are calling this bogus. They're saying it's false information and that basically we're being duped. There's nothing happening on August 8th based on astrological alignments. In fact, I'm getting this information from Starseed Astrology. This person wrote an article about kind of debunking the Lionsgate, and what they're saying is that that this is a made-up phenomena, like that, the spiritual community has been infiltrated, which of course it has. Every major structure in our world has been infiltrated from some point. So to think that anything is pure or sacred on the planet, whether it's government, whether it's the spiritual community, whether it's religion, it doesn't matter. There's always some kind of infiltration and corruption that gets in there. That doesn't mean that these things don't have a pure and a good side. It simply means that mixed in with the good sometimes is the bad. And that's just kind of how this plane works. In fact, if we go to the law of one and we're just talking about polarities, with the positive polarity and the negative polarity, they say that on this plane that we're on, polarity is offered in equal measure. That means we get 50% good and 50% bad. So it makes sense to me that within good structures would be some bad information, or within good information is bad information. But this astrologer is talking about how the sun doesn't actually align to Sirius, and it doesn't reach a peak on August 8th. According to their own astrology, Sirius reaches its peak in alignment with the sun and the earth on July 4th, which is the United States Independence Day, which I think is really interesting. And we should do a deep dive into that at some point. But for now, what they're saying is there's no set astrology that's happening every year consistently that would create a Lionsgate portal opening that opens on the 8th. In fact, this astrologer is purporting that if you're looking for a Lionsgate, the Lionsgate truly opens with the new moon in Leo, which is coming up for us, I think. I believe it's the new moon in Leo that's coming up on the 16th of August. Let me check back with that. Editor Therese will put information here to correct me if I've got that wrong. But this astrologer is pointing out that every single year there's always a new moon in Leo, and that's the true, what they would truly call the Lionsgate. And again, the date on it always changes. The new moons are never on the same date. It shifts with the year, from year to year. So the questions then that we have is, one, we want to know if this is an infiltrated movement. Is it fake? Now here's my spidey sense about it. Here's what I'm getting. Number one, there is a numerology aspect. The numerology aspect isn't really being noticed by the astrologer because, again, numerology and astrology are slightly different arts, although they do work together very well. They have different significance. And so we can't deny that there is still some energy happening when you get a double digit like August 8th every year. We do have an 8/8 numerology signature happening. And the other thing I feel about it is whether it is something that is like ancient information passed down generation by generation, like astrology, or if it's something that we're all putting our attention on and bringing forth. There is a power in our collective consciousness that can't be denied, and astrology can't prohibit collective consciousness creation. So if you've got enough people focusing in on a specific date every year, bringing their attention to it and seeing it as creating abundance or opening up the energy of abundance or manifestation, I have to wonder, what are we creating? I mean, we're doing something here. So my feeling is something is happening. The point being that it's not necessarily astrological, nor the star placements that we're being told that are happening aren't necessarily happening. They don't happen perfectly on the 8th every year, but it sounds like on the 4th of July, there's something there that's happening every year. So I reached out and I asked people if they had questions about it, and there's been a couple questions, because now people are, we're being told one thing, now we're being told another, so we just want to get clarity on it. So the intention with this reading is to create some clarity, find out, like, are we onto something? Is there a numerological, that is so hard to say, is there a numerology significance to this date, which I believe there is? Is there a collective energy that's creating something special on this date? And then we also want to find out if it's false information and if anything has happened. So let's start asking the cards a few questions. All right, so the first question I want to ask, I'm going to use my pendulum and ask if there is significant energy that has built up on the day of August 8th because of numerology. We'll start with numerology and then we'll ask about the collective consciousness. All right. That's interesting. So there is numerology, but there's not a significant energy that builds up because of this numerology. I'm getting from my team, it's more like a code. It's letting you know that this is a coded energy or a coded day. But there is not an energy buildup just because of the numerology. So that's an interesting point. So now I want to ask, is there an energy buildup on the day of August 8th because of the collective consciousness's attention on it? Does it build an energy? Does it build does it build an energy portal? Wow. Okay. The answer is yes. Because of our collective consciousness paying attention to this date, that enough people have focused in on it, they're revering it, they're considering it to be a sacred date, that is building up energy and creating a type of like portal opening on this date. So there is something going on, but it's not because of the numerology. The numerology is like a marker, they say, like a mile marker. It's our attention, which makes sense, right? Where attention goes, energy grows. So now, because of that, let's ask one of the questions. So Amber asks, she knows that the Lion's Gate is about abundance and releasing the old to open up space for the new and expansion. Is that accurate or misleading? And how can we use it to benefit us? We know something is opening. So first, let's ask if this portal opening expands abundance. Let's ask that from the pendulum. Thank you. Yes, it does. It expands abundance. That's the attention we're giving it. So it has that type of energy, right? And the numerology is the marker. It tells you what this does. It's not doing it, but it tells you what it does. And because we picked up on that, because people know numerology and spread the message about it, when we focus on this date, we are opening an abundance portal. It's not being opened by astrology or numerology, it's us, which is so freaking cool. Okay, so Amber's second question around that then is, how can we use it to benefit us? So now I want to talk to my team with the cards and see what they have to say. Okay, so the card that we get is the Four of Swords, right? And this is called the Truce card, and it means we stop fighting and we take a break. We stop pushing so hard. This is also a meditation card. This would be considered you're taking a mental break. You're not pushing, you're not fighting, you're not forcing, you are allowing, and you're doing that through meditative space. So many people choose to meditate on abundance on the 8-8 gateway, if you will, and they're doing it right. That's how we make the most of it. So I'm asking my team for more details. Pick another. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I like this. So the way that what we want to meditate on is events coming forward that increase your abundance. So you're thinking about, so the meditation is getting specific about the I want to say deluge, the flow, the abundance, the thing that's coming towards you. You get really specific, almost like they're showing me in my mind's eye, seeing myself sitting there meditating and seeing a flood of coins coming towards me, not in an aggressive way, but just like it's flowing in. It's like someone opened a bank vault and all this money spilled out. And the golden coin energy is a really strong one to meditate on, because again, it's not about literal currency, but gold is associated with abundance. It's associated with the sun. We are still in the sign of Leo. Gold is the color of Leo. So you're activating that energy, but seeing this surrounding you, and there's no end to it. It just keeps flooding towards you. So imagine like this event of something opening, right? We're allowing an opening to happen. We don't have to know how it opens or what opens it. We are simply acknowledging that abundance is open and flowing towards you. So if you want to use that visual that they're giving me, please feel free to, but I'll give it to you again. I see you sitting there in a meditative position. You are letting go of the fight. You're letting go of the struggle. You're not worried about how do I get this to come to me. You're simply saying it's open and it's coming to me. So you can imagine, like, again, you could see a vault opening. You could see the sky opening. You could see it coming out of water towards you, whatever it is. But see this abundance of like golden coin energy flowing at you. It's surrounding you. It's like pouring into your lap. It's like gently all around you, and it's spread out far and wide. And in a way, what you're doing is you're not just calling in this abundance for yourself, but you're calling in more than enough. So you're in that place of feeling generous and giving, and you can imagine that these coins are not just flooding you, but they're flooding the whole environment. And there's so much of it that if people were to come by and scoop up coins, that would have no concern to you. It would feel good. Be like, yeah, take some. Like, there's so much. There's more than enough. There's more than enough for everyone. There's more than enough for everyone. You can even meditate on that mantra, and that would be really helpful for you as well. All right, so that's great information. It's really simple. You don't have to do a lot. This doesn't have to take all day long. But you can tap into this abundance energy and really activate it in your field, which is exciting, I think. But now let's get back to why we're bringing this up, because there is a mismatch between what's happening in astrology, and we're being told this is an astrological event. And we have astrologers saying, no, it's not. So we want to know, Jillian's asking, why was this hyped up so much? Is there a nefarious reason why this portal was hyped up? So let's find out if there was nefarious intent behind getting us all behind the Lion's Gate. Wow, okay. No, there was no nefarious intent. In fact, let's find out. Her second question is, why was this hyped up? Okay. So there was no nefarious intent, meaning that even though we we've been misled and people are being told information that's not accurate, apparently there wasn't a negative reason to do it. So they weren't like being able, I'm not being told that they were manipulating group consciousness to create something. This was more like, the feeling I get around it was, in order to get people to take it seriously, they added the information about the sun aligning to Sirius during this time because they knew it would get people's attention. They knew people would, you know, you hear the star about Sirius. Sirius is our spiritual sun. It has massive significance in our spiritual history, in the from ancient civilizations up till now. There's an important energy coming from that. So it seems like the intent around it was to get us to pay attention. This was a way to do it. So let's find out, you know, why. Let's ask the team, why was this hyped up? If it's not nefarious, but it wasn't quite accurate, why did they do it? This is interesting, what I got. So why it was hyped was at the timing of when it was talked about. There was a timing that was correct. There was possibly an astrological placement that was happening that would allude to it being real and significant. However, it's not something that happens every year. So like, you know how they say a clock is right, a broken clock is right 2 times a day? It's that kind of thing. Yeah, my team's like, ka-ching on that one. So if a broken clock is right 2 times a day, then even though there isn't significant astrological placements that happen yearly with this, one year it was correct, or there was a significance to it, and that's how that started. But the reason it kept going, the reason it kept hyping up, had to do with the fact that we were at the time blocked. So here's the Ace of Swords in the reverse position. We were blocked mentally. We weren't expanding our mind. And this makes sense because this must have started really before the 4D consciousness pickup started for us. So I don't know how long ago it started. That's some information that maybe Editor Therese could pop in there, is like, when did this phenomenal start? If I can find that information, I'll type it below. But at the time that this occurrence was being touted, we weren't expanding our mind to create a conscious or a abundance portal. We were very fixed. We were locked in, and we didn't realize that we could do it. We could open it using our collective consciousness. We weren't doing that a lot. If you look back to like before the 80s, right? The 80s was sort of the first time that people were like getting together and being like, hey, if we all focus on the same thing, we can make something happen. And this is so true. And you don't need a specific time, a specific planetary alignment. You know, we feel like we need these things, and we usually do it with them because, again, they're numerology, astrology, they act like mile markers. They tell you, hey, if you focus on this right now, the probability of growing that's greater. On the 8-8, if you focus on abundance, the probability of growing that is greater, right? So this had developed at a time when our minds were pretty fixed, that we weren't using collective consciousness conscientiously. We were unaware of our collective consciousness power. Now, with the introduction of many things, including all the energetic upgrades we were receiving constantly, and like we're in another window where we're just like, bam, here's some more, here's some more. Like, people are feeling it right now. But with bringing things like the Lion's Gate to life, and bringing conscious awareness to how we act collectively and the power of us in groups, this was brought forward and hyped up so that we would focus on something positive. Because before that, and also with that, you know, nefarious groups have been using our collective consciousness. They've been using it consciously, but they've been using it consciously to build things that we don't agree with and we don't want, like war, like certain agendas that they want to put through. That kind of stuff had been used. So it was kind of like a reverse warfare tactic, meaning instead of using it against us, we were being taught how to use it for us. And this is one of those examples. So again, although inaccurate, and not astrologically correct, not nefarious, which is good news. Okay, so the last part of this is because so many people are talking about how this 8-8 portal is incorrect, it's not the right information, therefore it's being predicted that it's a scam and being used against us. People are now being told not to meditate and participate on anything 8-8 because it's the negative agenda. So let's ask again, even though I feel like we know the answer. Is there any negative agenda attached to the 8-8? Is it harmful to participate in this abundance portal? No, it is not. In fact, again, I would say that negative information is not to participate in it. Dun, dun, dun! We're being duped twice. The first time we were duped, it was for our own good. Now we're being duped to not use it. So, even though there are people saying it's BS, there's no astrological placement, those people are correct. There is no astrological placement happening tomorrow that would create this. The numerology in and of itself is not creating it. We are creating it. Take your power back. This is something that those of us in the spiritual community, we got to get this, all right? So yes, we can share information. Yes, you can have astrologers telling you information, numerologists, tarot card readers, people like me sharing this information with you, but ultimately feel into your heart. Use your internal discernment. We're so worried about being duped because we're awake now to a lot of duping that's happening in current time, as well as recent past, as well as distant past. Yes, we've been messed with, but you're not the naive victim of anything. In fact, while we're waking up to all of this information about how we've been messed with, you are also awakening to your personal power. You are also awakening to your sovereignty. And if manifesting or meditating on abundance is something that feels good to you, my God, do it. Why wouldn't you? That's not going to harm you. And whether or not Sirius is active right now or not, it doesn't matter. The sun of Sirius, the star sun, I think it's kind of the same, right? Sun is a star. It's supporting you all the time. Yes, there are times when this energy is peak and more accessible, but that doesn't mean that it's not backing you up all the time. It is, right? So whether it's on tomorrow or whether it's on your birthday or whether it's at Christmas, it doesn't matter. Whatever you choose to create with it, that's what's the most powerful. So if people are telling you not to create something, not to create abundance, not to create peace, not to manifest the higher timeline because maybe you were tricked, I would consider that maybe that's the trick. But again, use your own discernment. I'm not here to tell you what's right or wrong. I'm just trying to help us figure out what's going on because it gets muddy. But hopefully this message excites you. I'm going to do my very best to get this out the day before so that when it happens, this information is accessible to you. And then you take it and you decide, do you want to meditate on creating more abundance in the world, or are you good? And either way, it's completely up to you. You have the power, and that's what you should honor first. And with that, I'm sending you so much love. Happy abundance. I want to go meditate on that. That's my choice. And I hope that you have a beautiful day, no matter what you choose. Mwah.